Hi, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a harmonic analysis of Agustín Barrios' brilliant composition, La Catedral, the Cathedral. We're only going to be doing the first movement today, which is a Preludio Suadade. We're going to be doing a harmonic analysis which will encompass the harmonic function of every chord, the relationship between the melody and the chords, and of course the voicings and voice leading, and my opinion as to why the composer chose to make these decisions. There's a brilliant voicing usage of the guitar, often using the open B string as bass notes or middle notes to have access to higher position notes on the guitar. So we'll be getting into that in a minute, and you'll be seeing what I mean. Okay, so let's get into the first measure. Okay, we have this B minor chord. The lowest note in the chord is the open B string. So like this is what I was talking about. We're using the open strings to get other positions on the guitar that involve higher notes while still using this open B. It's quite brilliant, and we're going to see more of that as we move on. B minor, our one chord. Just establishing the one. The F sharp is in the melody, the fifth of the chord. Okay. Next chord is tricky because it either looks like an F sharp 7 flat 9 or a C sharp half diminished. Depends how you look at it, because again there's this open B string in the bass working as a pedal tone. So it's quite ambiguous. But we have this nice kind of shift of middle voices, right, from this B minor. Okay, gorgeous. And now the F sharp in the melody moves to an E on the first string. And now this looks more like a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 because of the E in the melody, okay? So it's kind of more complete in that regard. And then we move to G on the top, right? A very spicy chord. Again, I think it's a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the G on the top. All right, so like for instance, right, that's how we would hear that over there in that register. Measure 5, we're back to the one chord in root position. Measure 6, this is gorgeous. That F sharp moves to a G and the D is retained. So nice smooth voice leading from going from the 1 minor chord going to the 4 minor, E minor, 7 with the D here now. Okay, very nice. Measure 7 is the beginning of a very beautiful cadence that we're going to see using the 5 of the 5. And that's coming right now. 5 of the 5 is going to be E7. Okay, so this G that we just had is moving up a half step. The D is staying, the flat 7. And the melody note is going to E. And we have an open B still. Okay, so we have this 5 of the 5 chord, E7, going to the melody note, F sharp, okay, to an A7 chord. Now we don't have that B in the bass anymore. We're moving to this A over here. So you see, this was once the lowest note in the previous chord, and now this is the lowest note, the bass note of the A7 chord. And if we were to look at it just like, say, over here, it's just stepwise motion, right? So we had this open string, and now we're moving to a very high position, in a sense, on the guitar, note A, right, to have that very smooth bass movement. Okay, so F sharp on the top, resolving to D. So now we're resolving to the major, relative major. Okay, so that was a cadence that involves the 5 of the 5 to the 5 chord to the 1. In a sense, if you're calling D major, you're 1, so the relative major. You could say it's the 5 of the flat 6 major. Okay, so from this D major, we're going to be repeating this melody that we just had previously. So E, F sharp, D. We're going to voice it differently, the chords. So check this out. This is gorgeous. So coming from this D major once again, going to A7, and then this A sharp diminished 7 to the B minor, okay, back to B minor. So, I would say that the A sharp diminished, okay, is functioning as like an upper structure chord of an F sharp 7. So it's the 5-7 chord of 1 minor, okay, F sharp 7 to B minor, to the 1. But we have this A sharp diminish, creating kind of like this F sharp 7 flat 9. We have the F sharp on the top, so it's like this inversion. Beautiful chord, okay? You can use this in your own compositions. Anytime you have a dominant chord, you could go up its major third and create a diminished chord, and you have the flat 9 in that voicing. There you go. We have this beautiful, once again, this kind of reiteration of the melody. Gorgeous. Check this out. Now we're going to be changing registers using a chord tone, but dropping that chord tone down an octave. So it's a subtle change of register. It's kind of like we're opening this door into a new, hallway, if you will, that will take us somewhere new. Okay, so what the composer did is we just ended on the 1 minor chord in root position. Okay, but now what we're going to be doing is opening this open D string, and we're going to be putting the D in the bass, and it's quite lower than we were just before. So we're spreading open, and we're going to go into another world right here. So once again, we're at this B minor over D now, but we're going to go to the 5 of the 5, C sharp 7. Okay, this is the 5 of the 5-7 of the 1 minor chord. Okay, C sharp 7. So coming from this D, this G sharp in the bass makes a lot of sense. It's not a drastic jump. It's quite smooth voice leading still. Okay, so we're at the 5 of the 5 chord, 5 of F sharp 7, C sharp 7, and we're gonna just move down just for a second, just to check this beautiful bass movement. Okay, so it's like a C sharp 7 flat 5, but we're just going from this G to this F sharp to go into F sharp 7 in root position. Beautiful and brilliant. Okay, so let's listen to that. Now, we're at the 4 minor chord once again. So that F sharp 7 is the 5 chord, 5-7, but it didn't resolve back to 1. It went to the 4 chord. Nothing wrong with that. I love that stuff. Okay, builds tension. This is what we want when we're composing music. Big, beautiful spread voicing of an E minor 7 with D on the top. Okay, and now we're going to go down a half step, but we're going to ascend a half step in the bass movement. So the melody is going down a half step, and the bass movement is ascending in half steps. Another usage of a diminished 7 chord. Now let's see. We're coming from E minor 7, going to E sharp as it's written. Okay, it's like an F diminished 7, but written as an E sharp diminished 7. To this B7 flat 9, very smoothly, kind of going again, enclosing the voicing to a tighter position, not so spread out anymore. Okay, so we have this kind of B7 flat 9 that's going to resolve so nicely to this F sharp major over A sharp. It's kind of a hard one to pull off, but let's listen to those last 4 measures. We're at the 5 chord now. We're going to go back to the first 4 chords of the entire first movement. B minor, this F sharp 7 flat 9, C sharp half diminished 7, we're at the second page. Okay, we're at measure 25. Now, from measures 25 onward, we're starting to move into this other harmonic chain that we're going to be going to the 5 minor in first inversion. Okay, so once again, we're coming from this B in the bass, B minor with B in the bass, to F sharp minor with A in the bass, with F sharp on the top in the melody. Beautiful. We're retaining the melody on the top, or the melody note on the top the same, while doing all this like beautiful harmonic movement while retaining that high note. All right. So we're at F sharp minor over A. We're going to go to a G major 7 with F sharp on the top. Okay, and now the melody is going to come down to E and move down to D. And now the composer takes us to this G minor 6, okay? So let's see what's going on with the interior of this voicing, the inner notes, the inner workings. Coming from this G major 7, okay, we have this open B still. Now that B is going to become flatted over here, but in a different string. So it's a half-step movement, but placed on a different string. So these voicings, you got to study them. You're going to learn so much from the decisions that Barrios made from going from one chord to the other. It's absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video, you'll see. Okay, so we're at this G minor 6, okay? With the E inside of this voicing acting as the 6 of this G minor, right? So we moved from F sharp to E to D. And now we're going to keep that D on the top, and we're going to do an E diminished over here, okay, in the lower. Now, moving down to C sharp, and now we're going to bring our melody note to B. So we have this B minor over D, okay, but having the root B on the top. Okay. Bass movement up a half step. Okay, we're a D sharp diminished, or a B7 chord. Once again, this D sharp could be functioning as the third of a B7 chord, okay? So like say, right, the B7, the third D sharp in the bass, okay? And we're creating a diminished chord, right? This is beautiful. It's like a B7 flat 9, because we are indeed resolving to the 4 chord again. Okay, so this E minor. So that B7, or this D sharp diminished, okay, is acting as the 5 of the 4. So once again, check this out. B minor 7 over D. E minor. E minor 7 over B. Measure 34, G major. C sharp half diminished. B minor over F sharp. So right there we're using a lot of that open B string. Beautiful. Okay. C sharp half diminished again over G. Okay, so we're coming closer now to this other position. We had this open E on the top to an F sharp now. Check this out. So we're back at our B minor over D position, but now we got F sharp on the top. Okay, F sharp top note in the melody. Okay, beautiful voicing right here. It's just a beautiful triad in first inversion. And that moves so nicely while retaining this F sharp in the melody on the top. Half step motion in the bass, D to C sharp, minor 7 flat 5 again. Okay. C sharp. let's see what's going on here. Very cool stuff. This is kind of my favorite part of the entire movement. We break out of that C sharp half diminished, and now we're going to come into this still C sharp half diminished, but over G. Okay, but then bringing us to this F sharp 7 sus4, this gorgeous voicing. Once again, using this open B string as the sus4. Okay, to resolve to this E minor 6, because the C sharp over here inside of the voicing. All right, so. Whoops. E minor 6 over G, just putting the third in the bass. Now we're bringing that C sharp, right in that B, and logging it in right over here to the sus4 of this F sharp 7 sus4. Resolves half step to the major third. Open B, B minor chord. We're resolving to B, but we're actually kind of in the 4 chord. Check this out. Right there, that's giving me E. That's giving me E minor 7. Because we got B, B, G, the third of E minor, and D, the minor 7 of E minor 7. Okay, bringing us to this kind of quite ambiguous chord. It's more like a scale run, if you will, C sharp half diminished position. Okay, bringing us to the D, the minor 7 of E. Okay, minor 6, because we have this B in the bass, but it's second inversion, E minor. Because here's our minor 6, C sharp. What a gorgeous arpeggio, by the way. Right? So all of these things, you could learn so much from just one measure of this piece. You know, you could just kind of take one thing and learn it in different positions, different registers, different keys. Okay? Don't sleep on it. Definitely milk as much as you can from this. There's so much brilliance, again, in every single measure of this piece. So let's continue. Once again, we're finishing this arpeggio. And we're going to come down to a half step. And where are we? That's a big F sharp 7. Right? That just a big arpeggio of F sharp 7, the 5 chord. Okay? And then resolving back to 1. Okay, so those last 4 notes are harmonics that are notes of the B minor chord. Okay, so let's look at those last, 4 measures. This kind of this arpeggio from the 4 minor chord to the 5/7 chord to the 1 chord with that beautiful high resolution. Okay, so E minor 6, 4. F sharp 7, 1 minor. This part is gorgeous. More harmonics, a big E minor in harmonics. Check this out. Okay, E minor, the 4 chord, 5 chord once again, F sharp 7. Let's resolve that up in steps. So these move up in stepwise motion to B minor in the bass. That is the end of the first movement of Agustín Barrios's La Catedral. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more analysis of great compositions such as this one.